Our next speaker is Keyur Patel from Intel, but before he gets started, one more quick update on the agenda. Our next session in this room is titled HipChat Meeting Compliance and Regulations, and it's actually a panel discussion on HipChat Server Beta. We've got 2 customers as well as our lead developer. So if you're interested in learning more about that, which you heard about during the keynote, please join us after the session. So Keyur, I've been working with him over the past few months on this presentation, and probably the coolest thing that I learned about him is that he was an international robotics champion back in school. So I thought that was pretty cool, so I wanted to share that. He's been with Intel for about 4 years, and he's going to tell us how they're using JIRA to enable high-volume KPI benchmarking. So, thank you.
Thank you. Sit. All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Keyur Patel, and we're from Intel. I'm a part of the Intel Software Quality Group, and today we're here to talk about KPI benchmarking. And how we are extending, how we're using JIRA to make this process really more streamlined and more standardized. Before I get into more details, KPI benchmarks are here we're talking about something like any quantifiable measures that define your product. For example, audio quality, sound quality, power, performance, a few of those. And for Intel, why is it so complex? Why is it so important and so difficult to track this? Is because, like all of you know, Intel is a very quality-driven company, and And we have about 300 sites in over 60 countries with over thousands of projects running at the same time, hundreds and thousands of projects in our database, and each project tracking about 100 to 150 KPIs. So we're looking at a large number of KPIs, large number of benchmarking KPIs, and we have JIRA in the center that caters to all of these projects. So throughout this presentation, I would like to talk about 3 most important things that how we are tracking this problem. First is the traditional approach. It's not a real traditional approach, but it's one of those methods how if we have a new project coming in, we really pick up a spreadsheet or a flat file and start tracking things, and that's how we've been doing. And if you're doing this, it would be a great way to consider JIRA to get this up and running. Exploring how we are using the JIRA capabilities just apart from bug tracking, and some of our learnings if you decide to go back tomorrow and would like to take this up. So the traditional problem or the earlier approach, like I mentioned, we have this we have a bunch of Excel spreadsheets and files, and QA lab really wants to do these weekly measurements. They know where the measurements are, they know where the KPIs are, so they have these tremendous amount of Excel files. And then on the other side, we have our management, our stakeholders, who are the sole consumers of these. And it gets really tedious for them, as well as for QA, to every day update these files. It's again the same problem of limited management visibility and millions of Excel files residing on personal computers in a very distributed manner. It also lacks code check-in because your code is not really tied to your KPIs or where your KPIs are stored. Again, we're talking about flat files or Excel spreadsheets, so these are generally rows and columns. Limits your data analysis, limits if you have a lot of data. There's very limited analytics you can do. Like if I were supposed to find queries for projects, like a particular KPI for a particular project, there's no way I could do my select or all of those statements or queries using vast Excel spreadsheets. Also, in the software world, our requirements keep changing, our features keep changing, and so with this, your KPIs are going to change. Now, if I was supposed to go back and make changes in those flat files, it's going to be a nightmare. So we know, yeah, there's a problem. There's a big problem that we really want to solve. And we tried to think about this, how we could do this. We knew we really wanted to make something that was super simple, super easy. Not that we spend months maintaining, months building this, and then a couple of weeks of training. We wanted to build something, we go out live in a couple of weeks, we are there, and everyone knows how to use it within Intel. We also wanted to build something really fast, like I said, in a couple of weeks, 2 or 4 weeks. We wanted to build it, ship it, and our goal was either we ship it or we just get out of the way. We assume that this is the way it's been done traditionally, and this is the way we will continue doing it. But we knew we'll do something great, and we wanted to ensure we'll do something, we'll build something that's really scalable. There'll be more groups, there'll be more projects coming in, and we wanted to enable them right from day one. So if you have a new project coming in, you don't really need to set up something for a new project coming. So we thought about this. For us, we sat down together, me, my manager, Mandar, Jim, Mick. We all sat together and we thought, okay, we really need to tackle this problem. We came up with 2 options. One was either we work with all our teams, get their KPIs, get their benchmarks, work with the program managers, and define a new software, a new tool within maybe 8 to 10 months, get a team up and running, and build something ground up. Of course, everyone will be really happy with it. Or we build something, look within the set of tools that we already have. And we thought, hey, why not? Let's consider JIRA. Let's look at JIRA. What we've heard JIRA is being used in lots of other fields apart from bug tracking. And we thought of exploring the JIRA other capabilities like REST services, the developer KPIs, developer APIs, all of them to help us automate this process. We also looked at how JIRA can integrate with our existing data analysis databases for our existing data analytical tools. And that's how we came up with this model. I have some snapshots of JIRA, how it looks really in JIRA, how we are using JIRA, but along with this blueprint. So like I mentioned, we have a bunch of KPIs that we are tracking. We thought, why not use these KPIs? Because these KPIs could be something like audio quality, video quality, power, performance. And if you're building lots of chips or if you're building lots of devices, you tend to have these which are really reusable. So why not create these as set of libraries, pieces that could really be reused? And we thought, okay, let's do that. Let's put that all in JIRA. So now we have lots of KPIs in JIRA, and all the teams across Intel, the QA teams, the program managers, everyone know where to go and get this particular list of KPIs for any program they're tracking or if they want to compare with. And so let's say we have a new project or a new program coming in. They plug into JIRA. They know where the KPIs are. They identify the list of KPIs. The QA team comes in place now. The QA executes all of these KPIs on a weekly basis or on a daily basis based on the cadence, puts all the result in flat files. Now, all these KPIs could really be automatic or they could be manual tests. And then we have a drop-off folder where these flat files, whenever they are updated, we have JIRA scripts that pull this data whenever there is new data coming in. They pull it in through JIRA REST services. All the data is dumped and translated in JIRA bugs. So this is how it really looks like within JIRA. I would call this as one of the parent KPIs. And the example here is power consumption. We consider this as a parent KPI, and we can identify the projects by the KPI target information. And then we have another tab which talks about the values, the measurements. So if your targets for a power consumption might be 100 milliwatts or whatever, you can add those in the KPI target values, and then you have parents. So here the example is for an Android tablet. Similarly, you're working on a Windows tablet, teams can come and reuse this, just change the project names. The subtasks, as all of you are familiar with, in this case, we are using them as our weekly measurements or the child elements. So this is the data from QA lab Here, the example is for a weekly basis. So every week, there is new data coming in from QA. The scripts will update these subtasks, add a new subtask for every weeks of data. So it also helps us in collaboration compared to I would like you to consider this and compare this with our traditional approach of maybe if you're using flat files or spreadsheets. There's no way you can collaborate. There's no way you can talk about any particular regression. So if you're seeing that this week, the power consumptions were not really good in this particular build, you can talk about them here. You can create notes. You can tag people, just all the capabilities that you have in JIRA. We're reusing all of them here. The history and activity tab, this has been great because if you're making any changes to the KPIs, you're not just going and updating them. It goes through the CCB or whatever the process is, change controlling process. And we would like to track all of them, who made the changes, when the changes were made. So we have a great history within JIRA itself. Another great feature is the people who are tagged into this. Now, like I mentioned, this is Android tablet. We have a Windows tablet coming up. Then what we would do is the teams, the program managers, everyone know that if we need to execute this KPI, we know who to talk to. We know who would know how to execute this. Or even if there are changes coming up, we can assign it to a new person. And we know why it's not executing, or if it's blocked, why is it blocked? Similarly, if I'm interested in getting updates on this particular KPI, I can add them as well. I can add myself as a watcher to that, and I will receive the updates in my inbox. So this is how it actually looks within JIRA. It's how we are using the JIRA's bug feature or the JIRA's bug template to track our KPIs. Going back to this, so far we are looking at how we can collect and report all of this data. And then when we get on to the other side for the management, we've used JIRA's existing dashboards to present all of this information. So we're looking at trending, all the trending data, the pie charts, all of that. And like I mentioned, we wanted to tie this up together with our internal database for extra analysis, data analysis. We were able to do that as well. Here is a great example of one of the dashboards that I could pull. And this is for one of the programs that we have set up. On a weekly basis, it's giving us a nice little trend line of how many of our KPIs meet a target for, so the purple line here talks about blocked KPIs, how many of them are blocked and why they're blocked. I can click on them and get more details. How many of them meet target, how many are far from target, how many are close to target. I can also add more analysis on the project that I select. I can select the weeks. On the right side, again, I have a lot of features and gadgets to show the bugs and features for that particular program. So with all of this, with integrating JIRA and automating all of this piece together, we were able to get rid of the whole spreadsheet hell structure that we really had in our newly formed system. There was no manual data collection. Like I mentioned, all the data from the QA labs, be it manually collected, but still it's translated within JIRA automatically. We have a single source of truth. We're not creating a new tool. We're not creating a new bookmark for the management or for anyone. They know exactly where to go and pull the data. Of course, a sleek and easy UI, like all of you know. It's so simple and easy to use JIRA. We never had to go and train anyone. We were out. We were live in 2 weeks with all the setup, with all the data ported in JIRA, and everyone knew exactly how to use it. We never had to go back and teach them or show them how you're going to make use of this or where you have to go see your dashboards, your charts, your trending data, all of it. So overall, it created a great impact. It was like making this benchmarking process of hundreds of KPIs, doing all of that in a snap. some of the key takeaways from what we learned is our goal, like I mentioned, we could have done something on a large scale. We could have built a real great tool, but we thought of reusing the whole existing infrastructure. So we are using all the databases. We're using JIRA. The analytical tools that we already have invested in. We're just reusing all of that things together and combining it in one single location. One of the major things that we learned was to automate all of this. When we went out to talk to people and get some more feedback on this, they were really hesitant and they didn't really want to use it if they had to do any of the manual work. All the data had to be there, had to be pulled in together and be right there without providing any latency or any friction on the current approach. Now, when we try to build something like this, initially it was so easy to get lost in the features. When we thought about it, we were like, okay, let's integrate power and performance, and let's integrate these KPIs, and let's also try to get all the tests and all of that thing together. And it's really easy to get lost in these features. And I would say, do not neglect the part that you do have to maintain it. We were not only just going to deploy and design this, but we had to maintain it, and it's just lesser tools that we have to maintain now. And with a large organization like this, like Intel, we did need to have higher level management sponsorship and their direction, their decisions, and their communication to others that this will be a great tool, we need to use this, otherwise it wouldn't have been so easy and easy to do it. One of the other fourth most important thing is try to, like I said, try to reuse, but also look at the Atlassian's ecosystem. It's really powerful, and we used a couple of tools from them. One is InnovaLog that really helped us pull the parent KPIs into subtasks and their details, update their details every time a new KPI was created. So do consider using these Atlassian models, the ecosystem plugins. So going further with this, what do we plan next? Of course, we want to expand this to other groups within Intel, other business units within Intel. Also, not just track it, not just use it for power and performance capabilities, but also for other sorts of tracking methods wherever we think this can really be useful. We would love this if JIRA could have some of these capabilities natively supported within them. It would have been great for us. It would have been, it would just make things much easier for us. And of course, JIRA has a great Atlassian-backed ecosystem. But here, like I mentioned, if you're using a couple of plugins, we do need to make sure that with upgrades, we are up to date with the plugins as well. So overall, it's been a great learning and a great success story. We have hundreds of projects in there right now, and we are still working on getting more KPIs, more projects, and it's been great. So if you guys have any of these things in your team that you're working on flat files or spreadsheets or something of that sort, you may want to consider using JIRA to track them in a very systematic way. So yeah, thank you, and I would really like to thank Mick from Blackpool. They've been great in helping us with setting up all of this. If you have any questions, I don't think we have time now, but I'll be around if you need to talk about it, or you can visit Mick at his booth. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kayur.